never thought that a hedgehog and a fox could be best friends, or that an echidna could beat up a hedgehog. Hey everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to my in-theater movie review series. So today's movie I'll be reviewing today is the 2022 sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And before I get into my thoughts about this movie, here are a few words from the channel. Alright everybody, it's time to get on the social media train. Want to chat with me in 100 words or less? Then check out my Twitter account. Want to talk about movies, TV shows, and video games within the group? Then check out my Facebook account. Want to check out some of my ultra cool fan art? Then check out my DeviantArt page. Want to get the lowdown on everything that's happening on this channel? Then check all of the above. And now, we return to our regularly scheduled program. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 stars James Marsden and Jim Carrey, and it has the vocal talents of Ben Schwartz and Colleen O'Shaughnessy. And it starts off with Sonic the Hedgehog trying to become a superhero, but unfortunately because he's so inexperienced with the job, he ends up messing things up, and Tom finds out that Sonic is trying to play a superhero, and he tries to lecture Sonic about the importance of being a true hero and actually being there when the time comes. During this time, Dr. Robotnik escapes from the Mushroom Planet, and he ends up being aided by Knuckles the Echidna, who's after Sonic, and both of them try to get to the Master Emerald. Meanwhile, a young two-tailed fox named Tails ends up coming to the planet Earth, and together he and Sonic try to go and find the Master Emerald first before Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles are able to find the Master Emerald. So what are my thoughts about this movie? I really enjoyed this movie. Like, this is the first film I've watched in a long time in theaters ever since the pandemic started, and I'm really happy that this is the first movie I watched back in theaters. And this was definitely one of my most anticipated films in 2022, so I was really happy to finally watch this film. So here are some things that I liked about this film. The first thing I really liked about this film were the action sequences. So in comparison to the first movie, the action sequences in this movie are ramped up much more, and they're very well done. Like, there's a lot of fantastic cinematography going on throughout the film, and I really like the fact that we get to see Sonic and Tails and Knuckles fighting against each other, and we get to see so many special moves from each of these characters. And I really like the fact that there's a lot of explosions in this film, as it makes this film really interesting to watch. And I like the fact that the sequel has more action compared to the first film, because even though the film is like over 2 hours long, it feels like everything is going by pretty fast. And usually I feel a little uncomfortable with films that have a very fast-paced tone, because they tend to skip over a lot of important character details just to do the action sequences. But I felt like the fast pace for this film works very well, especially since they're trying to incorporate so much into this one film. So it worked very well in the film's favor to have a very fast-paced style to the tone, and I really enjoyed that. Another thing I really liked about this film were the various video game references it made. I like the fact that this film is a lot more faithful to the video games it was based off of. Like, compared to the first movie, which was basically a road trip movie, this movie actually focuses on a plot line from Sonic the Hedgehog 3, where you have Sonic and Tails trying to go after the Master Emerald, while Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles are trying to get the Master Emerald too, which was a storyline that was taken from Sonic 3 and Knuckles the video game. So I like the fact that this movie has much more video game references, and it's able to utilize all those video game references very well in the plot, and it made this movie really interesting and creative to watch. And then another thing I really liked about this film were the characters themselves. I love how all the characters were being developed throughout this film. Like, for many years, I've been a huge fan of Knuckles and Tails, and I really like the way this movie portrayed both Tails and Knuckles. I like the fact that Tails is shown to admire Sonic, and he follows Sonic around while still helping out Sonic. And I do like Sonic and Tails' friendship throughout this film, and I thought it was done pretty well for the most part. And then, of course, I love Knuckles the Echidna in this movie. I think Idris Elba did a fantastic job of voicing the character, as he makes Knuckles sound very serious and yet very sad at the same time, and you're able to feel a lot of emotion from Knuckles' character. And I really like Jim Carrey's take on Dr. Robotnik in this movie. He's much more crazy in this movie than he was in the first movie, and I enjoy seeing the more crazier side of Dr. Robotnik in this movie, and also seeing the more menacing side of Dr. Robotnik in this movie, as Dr. Robotnik is definitely much more menacing in this movie than he was in the first film. Now, one of the minor issues that I have with this film, and this is a very minor issue, was that I felt like the relationships between the characters would develop a bit too fast. As I mentioned before, this film has a very fast-paced tone, and so a lot of things tend to go by very quickly in this film, even though this is a 2-hour long film. But I felt like the relationships between the characters was developed a little too fast. Like, I felt like Sonic and Tails became best friends overnight instead of really developing their friendship a bit more. Like, I wish there were more personal scenes between Sonic and Tails. Like, we do get a couple personal scenes between Sonic and Tails in this movie, but I wish that there was a bit more between the two characters so I could buy into their friendship a bit more. And I felt like the relationship between Sonic and Knuckles was better developed than Sonic and Tails' relationship. So if they do make a Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I hope that Sonic and Tails' relationship gets better developed in that movie. And another issue that I have with this film, and this is also a very minor issue, is that I felt like some of the comedy was a bit cringy. Like, the first movie had a few cringy moments, but it wasn't too bad. This movie has a few cringy moments as well, but it didn't make the whole movie terrible or anything like that. And I think you could overlook these cringy moments in the film. And this issue is something that's not really related to me because I didn't have a problem with this, but I noticed that some people did have a problem with these scenes, and that's wedding scenes. Personally, I like the wedding scenes. I like the fact that we get more focus on Rachel and Maddie and Tom, and I like the fact that they still have their own story arc apart from Sonic and Tails. But I can understand the complaints about how the wedding scenes feel like it's supposed to be in a separate movie and not in the Sonic movie. But honestly, I didn't have a problem with the wedding scenes, and I thought they were very cute. But overall, I give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a very high buy it. So you may have noticed that I use a rating called Buy It, and I usually use this rating when I'm watching movies in theaters. And because this is the first movie I watched back in theaters, I'm going to use the Buy It rating, but it basically means like watch it. It basically means it's a really good rating, so that means if the movie's really good, then you should buy it. And I definitely think this movie's really good, and you should definitely buy it. But overall, I really enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Even though I wish some of the relationships would develop a bit better, and some of the comedy was a bit cringy, I really enjoyed this movie. I found this movie to be a whole lot of fun and heartwarming at the same time. I definitely would love to rewatch this movie over and over again. Oh yes, and don't forget to stick around for the post-credits scene. You'll definitely go wild when you see it. So that's my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and tell me in the comments down below. Have you seen Sonic the Hedgehog 2? And if you have, did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? And which one of the Sonic movies was your favorite? Did you like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 better? Or do you like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 better? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, like this video? If you want to check out more crazy content from this channel, then please hit that big old colorful subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra generous, then please support me through Patreon so I can make more awesome content for this channel.